Greetings! NASA has pushed back its tentative schedule for the Artemis 1 launch. To give their teams more time to prepare for the all-important cryogenic demonstration test, it is now scheduled for no earlier than Wednesday, September 21st, a delay of 4 days. This week, teams will conduct tests at ambient conditions to ensure that there is a tight bond between the two plates before testing again during the cryogenic tanking test and begin preparations for the test. During the demonstration, launch controllers will load supercold liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen into the core stage and interim cryogenic propulsion stage, ICPS, of the SLS rocket. The demonstration will allow teams to confirm the hydrogen leak has been repaired, evaluate updated propellant loading procedures designed to reduce thermal and pressure-related stress on the system, conduct a kickstart bleed test, and evaluate pre-pressurization procedures. This delay rules out the September 23rd potential launch date, so now the earliest launch would be Tuesday, September 27th. A new backup opportunity on October 2nd is under review. Of course, all of this depends on approval by the Space Launch Delta 45, granting NASA's request for what now will be a very significant extension of the flight termination system. With the latest delays, at least the nighttime launch is now off the table. If all the stars align, the September 27th window will last 70 minutes and open at 11:37 a.m. Eastern, with a landing on November 5th. NASA and SpaceX also continue to target no earlier than 12:45 p.m. Eastern Monday, October 3rd, for the launch of the agency's Crew 5 mission to the ISS. Teams are working the upcoming commercial crew launch in parallel to the Artemis 1 planning, and both launch schedules will continue to be assessed over the coming weeks. NASA and SpaceX will review the Artemis 1 and Crew 5 pre-launch processing milestones to understand any potential impacts. The agency's Crew 4 return will continue to be planned following a short handover on the space station with Crew 5. The potential October 2nd window lasts 109 minutes and opens at 2:52 p.m. with a landing on November 11th. The Capstone mission continues to be in trouble, and its survival depends on regaining attitude control of the spacecraft, ending its current tumbling state. Fortunately, its current trajectory would still allow the mission to enter lunar orbit if the planned detumble operation is successful. Satellite operator Advanced Space provided these details. During or shortly after the third trajectory correction maneuver, TCM-3, on September 8th, the spacecraft suffered an anomaly that resulted in the vehicle attitude rates growing beyond the capacity of the onboard reaction wheels to control and counter. The vehicle was attempting to communicate with the ground for about 24 hours before any telemetry was recovered. At the point of recovery, the spacecraft was not in a stable position, it was not power positive, and the system was experiencing periodic resets. Navigation data collected after the anomaly suggests that the maneuver was completed or nearly complete when the anomaly occurred. This means the spacecraft remains on the intended trajectory and on course to enter the near rectilinear halo orbit at the Moon. After the planned TCM-5 maneuver, the spacecraft did not return to ground communications as expected, which provided the first indication that there would be an issue. Working with limited data, the combined operations team determined it was prudent to declare an operational emergency Thursday evening, September 8th. From this point forward, the teams at the NASA Deep Space Network, Terran Orbital, and Advanced Space have been working around the clock to work the problem, understand what is happening on the spacecraft, and identify options to recover to normal operations. Rapid response enabled by the Deep Space Network support and quick thinking by the team at Terran Orbital allowed mission operators to quickly reconfigure the operational state of the spacecraft to stabilize the situation while recovery plans could be further evaluated. Based on this exceptional effort and using the limited data available, the operations teams have determined that the spacecraft is in safe mode and appears to have successfully been placed in a stable state. The vehicle is in a rotating orientation that provides partial illumination of the solar panels and results in weak transmission signals from the spacecraft low-gain antennas. Without the unique capabilities of the Deep Space Network, the mission team would have little or no information on the status of Capstone. Modeling of the expected orientation and state of the vehicle into the future suggests it will remain stable. The vehicle is on the orbital trajectory intended, and understanding this allows for continued tracking for ground stations well into the future. The vehicle in its current configuration is power positive, meaning that it is generating more power from the solar panels than the system is utilizing. The mission operations team is currently focused on recovery plans. These efforts will begin by working to improve the thermal situation of several subsystems, including the propulsion subsystem. While work is ongoing to diagnose the cause of the anomaly, the team is preparing the spacecraft to attempt a detumble operation to regain attitude control of the vehicle. This detumble operation was successfully demonstrated after separation from the launch vehicle in July. Successful detumble will result in the vehicle resuming control of its orientation, orienting the solar panels to the sun to fully charge the batteries of the power used during the detumble. The spacecraft will then orient to the ground and await further instructions. These recovery operations will be further evaluated over the coming days. Recovery timing will be guided by the data and analysis available to maximize the probability of a successful spacecraft operation. The combined mission team, including the Deep Space Network, Terran Orbital, Stellar Exploration, and Advanced Space, have been working in a disciplined and collaborative way to stabilize Capstone and prepare for recovery. Many details remain unknown as to the cause of the anomaly, and significant risks are continuing to be analyzed. Everyone on the team is focused on recovering from this anomaly and continuing the important objectives of the Capstone mission. The European Space Agency is proceeding with its new Ariane 6 launcher. At Europe's spaceport in French Guiana, a test model of the launcher's central core was assembled for the first time. Ariane 6 is the first Ariane rocket to be assembled horizontally, which is simpler and less costly than more traditional vertical assembly. Then the rocket was moved to its launch pad and placed upright in the massive mobile gantry for combined tests to validate the compatibility between all components of the complete launch system. Soon more testing will be done on Ariane 6's upper stage at a purpose-built facility in Lampoldshausen, Germany. Here's a short video from ESA about their work.
Exciting times for the European space industry as the combined tests for the Ariane 6 launcher have begun. The objective of these tests is to verify and validate the compatibility between Ariane 6 and its dedicated launch pad at Europe's spaceport in French Guiana. It's an essential dress rehearsal to prepare and train the teams before the rocket's inaugural flight. An industrial and human adventure with thousands of people spread across many European companies and institutions working together. The Ariane 6 program is managed and funded by the European Space Agency ESA, with Ariane Group being responsible for the design and development of the launcher itself. The French space agency CNES took responsibility for the construction of the new Ariane 6 launch base at Europe's spaceport, and Ariane Space will be the launch service provider for Ariane 6. With the combined tests at Europe's spaceport, a number of milestones have been achieved over the course of the summer. In the new launcher assembly building, teams from Ariane Group, CNES and ESA completed an important step of the process, the horizontal mechanical and electrical assembly of Ariane 6's central core. A few weeks later, the rendezvous. For the first time since its conception, Ariane 6 was able to meet its launch pad. The doors of the launcher assembly building opened to let Ariane 6's central core through. It took about 20 minutes at 3 kilometers per hour for the launcher to cover the 800 meters separating the assembly building from the launch pad. The rocket was then lifted from its horizontal assembly position to its vertical position. Ariane 6 is the first launcher in the Ariane series to be assembled horizontally. It makes it easier for the technicians and helps save time and money on every launch. Another element contributing to the competitiveness of Ariane 6 is its P120C solid rocket boosters. The P120C solid propellant motor is also used by Europe's other new launcher, Vega C. Sharing this key component means cost savings for both rockets. The P120C demonstrated its performance on the 13th of July with the successful inaugural flight of Vega C. But it's not only in French Guiana that testing of Ariane 6 continues. In the purpose-built test facility in Lampolshausen, Germany, crucial firing tests of the upper stage engine will soon begin. Then the upper stage will undergo further testing at ESA's ESTEC Technology Centre in the Netherlands. Now only a few steps remain before the teams at Europe's spaceport can switch from the test models they're using for the combined tests to the flight hardware that will be used for the inaugural flight of Ariane 6. A first which will be followed by many launches, continuing Europe's heritage of independent access to space.
Astrobotic has acquired the assets of bankrupt Maston Space Systems and now says that the two companies are merged. Operations are expected to continue in Pittsburgh for Astrobotic and Mojave, California for Maston. Spare a thought today for lonely fans of the miserably unscientific but occasionally entertaining sci-fi classic Space 1999. It is the 23rd anniversary of the impossible nuclear-triggered exit of the moon from our solar system. Silly national days noted for your Wednesday include National Parents' Days Off, Cream-Filled Donut, and Eat a Hoagie Day. Sounds like a great way to get a stomachache. And that's the way space is today. Until tomorrow, ad in explorata, toward the unknown in the measureless arena of space. Stay tough and competent. Thanks for watching.
The market tanked on worse than anticipated inflation news and rising interest rates. All but two of our watchlist space stocks were down, with Astra Space, AST Space Mobile, and Momentus taking the worst hits. Astratech rose about 2%, and Planet Labs soared nearly 14%. Reporting from cyberspace, this is correspondent Karen Calvis. Have a great day.